originally going to go to the junkyard to get the part, but it's $40 at the junkyard and new ones are $40. So I know it's probably better to get a Toyota original part, but you know, I'm going to try it, see what happens. Is the part number? Make sure you have the right tools. In this video, we're going to use these tools. Before we get started, if you could hit the subscribe button, it would really help me out. I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, if you have any tips or tricks, leave them in the comments. So that's broken is on the passenger side. So we're gonna have to take the wheel, the rotor off, and I've seen a few videos and they take these two bolts off and then pull the whole knuckle down. So come on. What I've seen online, these nuts are pretty notorious for not coming off. So we've got this extendable breaker bar, and we're gonna also add the jack to extend it harder to see if we can actually get it off. I had to rent this OEM's tool 33mm 12-point deep socket. That's what fits around this axle nut. It came off. What I've seen people doing is they'll take off these two bolts, and then that will allow this whole mechanism to slide forward. Slamming my head up against this and it's pulling it back. Yeah, okay, it's gonna move out. Now we're not supposed to let it hang, so I put a jack stand to catch it. What we want to do is pry out from here, I guess. I wanted to let you know that this isn't the right way to do it. You don't want to pry against the transmission. The axle itself actually has points where you should be hitting. If we take a look at the axle, you can see where I incorrectly pried, which was right here. And that leads to some drama that we'll get into later on in this video. But the axle has these grooves here. So what you want to do is take your pry bar and hit against that. There's also a tool that sort of looks like a fork, and that's designed specifically to remove these. So the camera overheated, so the CV axle was stuck into the transmission. They couldn't get it out. Finally got a pry bar underneath it, and then I just hammered it out. If we drained the transmission fluid first, we may not have encountered this at all. Let me show you what the damage is. So as we can see, there is some damages on the seal. Oh, we got it. Wow, this thing is annihilated. Greased up this one, and I've seen people use sockets, and I've seen people, read people press it in, but you want it to be even, so probably needed to fit around the outer section though, that to actually work. This does. I think that's in. Looks fairly even. Although I'm at an angle, so I don't know how I can say that with confidence. But okay, let's shove this axle back in the hole and see if it works. So the hole's here, and we kept hitting it like this, and then there's a little O-ring clip. So that O-ring clip probably snags one of the gears and then pushes it before it goes in. But when I brought it in at an up angle, it was able to slip in like that. Don't forget to torque your axle nut. Mine was 165 pounds. And then you also have this retainer you're supposed to bend in with a chisel. So we're using royal purple because the C50 in the Yaris has brass synchros. Max Gear is non-corrosive to soft yellow metals, bronze, brass, and copper. All right, well, this is gonna be a $50 test. So if you wanna buy a sticker, aftereartharcade.com. But before we test it, if you could pause the video and let me know if you think it's gonna leak or not. If it does leak, we're gonna have a live stream cry party. If it doesn't leak, we're gonna go play some Initial D. It's like starting to drip in. That means we're full, which is good because we're at the end of where we need to be. Sun is starting to set on this beautiful spring desert day. We can't call victory just yet because we gotta warm the car up and see if the warm liquid will leak through. But before we do that, I just got this CD from Japan. So we put about 100 miles on it and it still isn't leaking. Before you go though, I wanted to leave you with one last tip. If you have an ABS axle, it's gonna have this pin here. If the opening is towards the bottom, it makes it much easier to slip in. Congratulations, now you should have enough information to do this yourself. If you learned something, please hit the subscribe button. We also have other Yaris repair videos here. We're hanging out and I'll see you next time.